John Mark Carr confessed to the most notorious murder of the decade and was then released. Who is John Mark Carr, and is he dangerous? Despite the DNA in the JonBenet Ramsey case not matching his, these questions still need to be answered. We set out to do just that by sitting down and talking to John Mark Carr for nearly 4 hours. To be clear, from the beginning, John Carr knew that I was a forensic psychiatrist, but not his doctor, that I was acting solely in my capacity as the host of this show. John Mark Carr is a man whom I believe is a modern-day Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. As you watch this program, there are moments that will be very disturbing. For many people, this will feel like a glimpse into the mind of a man with no soul. Take a look at just some of my exclusive interview.
What's different from a 6-year-old girl and a 29-year-old girl that you like? Girls that I like are uninhibited.
I've been in love several times, and I've probably lost count of how many times I've been in love.
I can use this part of my body to go to the toilet. But if I use that thing to somehow reach an orgasm and stimulate myself, then all of a sudden it turns into a different beast?
Are you willing to say on camera that it is morally wrong for an adult to be with a child romantically?
I'm not touching that, no.
You won't say it's wrong?
I'm not touching that subject.
I'm giving you the opportunity to say it is morally wrong for an adult to be with a kid.
I'm not going to answer that question.
John Mark Carr wanted desperately to be known as the killer of JonBenet Ramsey.
I was with JonBenet when she died.
JonBenet's murder was a cold case until Carr, a former school teacher and would-be daycare owner, was arrested in Thailand. The media thought they had their man, a pedophile who had entered the Ramseys' house, sexually assaulted JonBenet, and then murdered her. Carr was cleared of those charges when his DNA didn't match DNA found at the crime scene. He was quickly rearrested, though, to face charges in California of possessing child pornography. However, the key piece of evidence, Carr's computer, couldn't be found. 1 month later, those charges, too, were dropped. What compels a man to falsely confess to the most infamous murder of the last decade? I spoke with Carr in our production offices to get a glimpse into his mind. So who's the man behind those infamous words? During a rare, candid conversation before our sit-down interview, Carr revealed his innermost thoughts.
Well, I've already been into the mouth of hell. I was negotiating deals with the deal because we're talking about the death penalty. I mean, I was fighting for my life. It got to the point where I was fighting for my life. And I changed some things around to save my life. And so at this point, shall I open up Pandora's box again and allow them to just gobble me up and take me back? No.
As a forensic psychiatrist, I've dealt with very dangerous people. By definition, a pedophile is one who is attracted to prepubescent children, and I believe this man is a pedophile. From the beginning, I never thought he murdered JonBenet Ramsey, but other questions remain. How much of a risk is he? How much damage might he already have done? How hard is it to recognize how depraved he was because of the mask he was wearing? And finally, what should be done now? I had an opportunity to witness the two faces of John Mark Carr, one when he knew he was being interviewed in a formal setting, and one in a room where he did not know that hidden cameras were running. When I sat down with John Mark Carr, his two faces became apparent when we discussed his love for teaching. First, he portrayed himself as an innocent school teacher. Here's part of the John Mark Carr he'd like the public to know, discussing his love for teaching and children. Why teaching? What was your goal?
I think that whatever anyone does is what they have a passion for doing, and I have a passion for teaching, for working with children, and I think I'm quite good at it, and I think that children benefit from the talent that I bring to my profession, and I had a rapport with them. My approach to working with children is holistic. It's not just working with academics, it's to take care of all their needs.
And John Mark Carr taught all over the world. How many places have you sort of put your head down for a period of time?
Well, it's quite numerous because in the 5-year period of time I've been around the world.
What are some of the cities?
I don't want to answer that.
Oh, I'm sorry, why?
I just said I don't want to answer that.
Oh, sorry. So no, yeah,
For
sorry.
God's
That's
sake,
a follow-up
here we
to a
go.
question. Yeah.
Because
sorry.
what you're doing, you're locking me into the names of cities, which would also lock me into talking about the actual schools, and you notice I said Central America. I didn't say the name of the country.
No.
So don't stop that.
Okay. Throughout the interview, John Mark Carr continued to display this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality. During our formal interview, I asked him about his dreams, and then later in the evening, in an informal setting, the subject of dreams came up again, but this time, things were different. Do you have any recurrent dreams?
No, I don't think I've ever had recurrent dreams. I've dreamed about the same situations time and time again.
Yeah, like such as?
I can't recall that.
Okay.
The part about what's your reoccurring dream or your reoccurring thought? Boy, I stumbled all over the place with it. Because I stumbled all over the place with that. I was like, I don't have it. No, I don't have
What
it.
is it?
Man, everybody's haunted by stuff. Like
What are you haunted by?
Oh, man. I'm going to be haunted by this. By what happened to me.
How did she end up dying? What went wrong?
How did Jean Benet die? I'm sorry, but it's too painful.
John Mark Carr tries to be one person when he knows the cameras are on, but the real John Mark Carr emerges when he's out of the spotlight, or believes that he is. Next, more of my exclusive and very revealing face-to-face interview with John Mark Carr.
Coming up, John Mark Carr answers allegations from his ex-wife.
I would wake up in the morning, my eyes would be just solid red. I had blood blisters in places that I shouldn't.
That is absolutely something that is not true.
I said something to him about it, and he just got angry.
And later,
When I was 4, as young as 4, I had orgasms. I was with my mother for 4 years of my life. I was taken out of the home.
He also is carrying the genetics that his mom had, and she had major mental illness.